Thank you so much. It's good to see everyone and have everyone in the room. I know some of you have dropped off video. Totally fine. No worries about it. If everybody drops off video, I will not take it personally. Um, we are going to have about 45 minutes of an interactive presentation about the power of stepping away. I'm John Kormanik. I'm the CEO and head coach at John R. Kormanik Coaching. I am a trusted partner with IR Global. I work exclusively with attorneys in a one-on-one setting to coach them in leadership, communication, personal development, things of that nature. I coach attorneys all over the world, and I am very, very interested in some conversation that we're going to have today about the cultural differences of stepping away from your business, from your practice. Understand that this presentation is written by an American. So some of it may resonate with you, some of it may not resonate with you. Some of you may think, that doesn't happen where I am on the Isle of Man or in Gibraltar, or that doesn't happen here. And so that's totally fine. You will still get value. I promise you will get value. If you have questions as we go along, I have some of you on the screen I can see. When I start sharing my screen, it's going to be challenging to see people raise their hands. You can just interrupt, come off of mute, interrupt if you've got a question, totally fine. So let's get going. All right, the power of stepping away. Why strategic absence is a leadership advantage. Charlie, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see my slide screen? Wonderful. Okay, here we go. When was the last time you really stepped away, truly stepped away? I mean, no phone calls, no work phone calls. I mean, no email. I mean, well, let me just take this one meeting. I do mean truly stepping away. I was on vacation recently. I did not bring my laptop. It was fantastic. It was a gift that I gave to myself. I went to Portugal with my wife, and the laptop didn't go. And I was telling people that was what I was going to do, and they were stressed for me. I don't know why they were stressed for me, but they were stressed for me. So, when was the last time you truly stepped away from your work? We're going to talk about the power of stepping away, why it's a benefit to you to do that, to truly step away. There are 3 lies. I'm a big fan of lies. We tell ourselves so many stories, and the stories that we tell ourselves are oftentimes just not true. They're just not true. Like this slide. I meant to change the photograph, but I didn't. You would have never known. And here I am stressed out about it. I looked at the photo. I'm like, oh my goodness gracious. Everybody's going to know it's a stock photo and they're going to think very badly of me. But none of that is true, right? None of it's true. So with stepping away, there are 3 lies that we tell ourselves. Number 1, time away is lost. It's wasted. It is not useful. Time is lost. Lie number 2, there's no ROI when I'm not working. ROI, return on investment. There's nothing beneficial to stepping away. Not for me, not for my team, not for my business. That's a lie. It's just not true. And the 3rd lie, being gone has a negative impact on my image or my status. What will they think if I don't answer their call? What will they think if my email autoresponder is set to out of the office? What will they think of me? We create these 3 lies. Time away is lost. There is no ROI when I'm not working, and being gone has a negative impact on my image or status. They are, in fact, lies. None of them are true. We're going to talk about some of that today. That's why we're here. Insight number one for y'all: time away is not lost. If you want to, you can put in the chat a time that you did step away and what the benefit was to you as an individual. If you want to do that, great. If you don't want to do that, that's cool too. If you haven't stepped it away in a while, I get it, right? I totally get it. So, insight number one: time away is not lost. Who knows this guy? Raise your hand if you know this guy, either your real hand or your virtual hand. Come on. Anybody know him?
I really want it to be you.
It's not me. I'm sorry. It is not me.
That's a good hairdo, John. I was going for the hairdo.
Oh, if you come to Berlin, anybody on this call who is coming to Berlin, I promise I will show you a photo when I was around this age. I did have hair. So nobody knows who this is? You can come off of mute, even if you're not on camera. All right.
Bill Gates.
Bill Gates. This guy. That was Bill Gates. That was Bill Gates's mugshot from New Mexico when he was 17 years old. He got pulled over for speeding and he didn't have his driver's license. But that was Bill Gates. This is Bill Gates more recently, the person that we've come to know. Bill Gates has for decades taken think weeks, 2 think weeks a year. Began in the 80s. That's a long time ago. Some of you may not have even been born yet. He began in the 80s by going to his grandmother's house just to get away and think. Over time, it became more evolved and isolated, no visitors. He does not accept visitors on his think weeks. Even today, he's running the Gates Foundation. Even through the time when he was the CEO of Microsoft, he took think weeks and was on do not disturb twice a year. During that time, he reviewed technical papers. He worked, but it wasn't the typical work. It wasn't his everyday with meetings and the things that he would do as the CEO. It wasn't that. It was truly to step back and be in a more strategic mindset, more thinking big, reviewing technical papers from employees, reading books that were in his field and not in his field, reading philosophy and science and things like that. During the Think Weeks, the 2 things that I could find that he came up with was Internet Explorer. You can praise it or curse it, but he came up with the idea of Internet Explorer and the tablet PC, right? So, and whether you have a tablet now, he came up with these things because he was able to step away and look at the world differently. It is not possible to be in our everyday mode, our everyday business, our doing of the thing that we do, that we are world class at. Everyone on this call is absolutely, positively, I have no doubt, world class at what it is that you do. Whether you're in accounting or law or the financial sector, wherever you are, you wouldn't be a member of IR Global if you weren't world class. I mean, this I know. And I also know that when you're in the thing that you do, you can't really think strategically. You can't get to that 30,000 or 40,000 foot view of your business or your life when you are in it, when you're doing the work. Bill Gates tells us this. Look, he wasn't always a centibillionaire. He wasn't always that. He was the guy who was doing the stuff. And he recognized the value of stepping away, the strategic importance of stepping away from his role and his in the regular environment to go and just think. Bill Gates, think weeks. Now I'm going to give you a moment or two to think of a time when you stepped away. Grab a pen, grab a piece of paper. You can type notes on your computer if you want to do that. But think of a time when you stepped away on vacation or holiday, sabbatical, or even an afternoon. What clarity did you gain? And almost as importantly, what did your team learn when you weren't there? We're going to talk about teams in a minute. But think about that. Really just stop and think. When did you step away? Truly step away. No emails, no meetings, and set time to think at a more strategic level. What clarity did you gain for yourself, your business, your life? And what did your team learn about themselves, about you, about the business? Okay, insight number 2. If you're still thinking, stay in that space. You can put me on mute even. It's totally fine if you're still thinking about that. It's that important that you recognize, oh, I've done this before, and this is the value that I've gained, because the world is noisy, it's very busy, and if we don't recognize the value, we don't do the thing again. So number 2, we're going to talk about the ROI of stepping away. Return on investment, right? There are expenses and there are investments. Expenses is money just goes out the door, money, time, whatever it is, whatever the resource is, goes out the door and nothing comes back in return. That's an expense. An investment, whether it's in stocks, bonds, crypto, or our personal development and the way to think about our businesses and our lives, that's an investment. We expect a return on that. So we're going to talk about some of the ROI. Number 1, strategic clarity. Talked about this before. It's impossible to be in a strategic space when you're doing the thing. I heard it described one time as being on a dance floor. And when you're on the dance floor, we'll be dancing in Berlin, I'm sure, if you're going to be there. When you're on the dance floor, you're in it, right? You're with your partner, or you're in your own space, you're doing your thing, you may be watching the people around you. That's the clarity that you can get in the moment, in the work. Oh, this is my next step. This is the next thing I'm going to do. Super important and not strategic. Very important, but not strategic, right? Then when you go to the balcony and you look down on the dance floor and you see more of the soccer pitch or the playing field or the dance floor, and you can see people moving around, and you can kind of look and see who's going where and why they might be going there. You can see all of that stuff when you remove yourself from the work. So the first ROI is strategic clarity. right? Remember, Bill Gates in his Think Weeks didn't do nothing. He did things to create strategic clarity and to move his business forward. ROI number 2, innovation. Rick Rubin is a world famous music producer. He produces the Beastie Boys and other groups. You'd know him if you saw him. Crazy beard, crazy hair, all gray, super interesting guy. He's got a book out. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll maybe check before we end today. You can just Google Rick Rubin and it'll give you his book. Anyway, what Rick says is we have a pain point and we develop things, whether it's systems or methods, or we invest in human capital or technology to get rid of the pain, right? Whether it's client creation or intake or communication with existing clients, billing, you name it, right? We get to this place, and when the pain goes away, we stop because human beings are generally lazy. We're generally late things, creatures. And so when our pain is gone, we stop. That does not mean that the solution that you've settled on is optimal. It
Did you have any
just
luck?
it just
Oh, you did?
means
Okay. Did you send it to me then?
that it works.
Okay.
And if y'all can mute yourself, that'd be awesome. I appreciate it. So we are lazy. When we get to a solution, we just stop innovating. We settle for what is. When we step away, we can look at our processes and procedures and think, how can we make this better? Right? Look, there were PCs, and then Gates came up with a tablet PC. Right? There was no way to effectively browse the internet. And now we've, Internet Explorer, and now we've got, Gemini and Google and all this stuff, right? But none of that existed before. And so when you step away, you can take an innovative look at your systems and think and ask yourself, is this the best way to do it? Or can we make it better? And we should always be doing that, because I, like everybody, Rick Rubin says, right? I'm a lazy person. I get to the point and then I don't think about it until I have that strategic thinking time, that stepping away time. So strategic clarity, innovation, delegation. You get to lean into and become a world-class delegator because you're not there. And the business doesn't stop when you're not there. That's not the point, right? The point is for the business to keep going. It has to, right? We don't just we go on holiday for 6 weeks and it all shuts down and nothing happens. And then we come back and there's no money to pay anybody. That's not how it works. And so the power of stepping away, one of the ROIs is it makes you, or it provides you the opportunity to be a better delegator. For those of us who fear delegation, I fear it because nobody can do it like I do it, which is a lie. They can do it better than me, oftentimes. So, delegation. If you're going to step away, you must improve your delegation. That's an ROI from stepping away. Team growth. You can't call me. You can figure it out. You will be able to get a hold of me if there is a true emergency. And here's a little side note. It's very important when you are stepping away to actually identify what a true emergency is to your team. You can call me if, and list specific reasons that they can get a hold of you. Other than that, they'll figure it out, right? So team growth, it enables your team to be better. When we think about it, that makes total sense, right? Delegation and team growth kind of go hand in hand. That's for the business. That's for the people that you're leaving behind, those two things. For you, the ROIs are strategic clarity and innovation. Altogether, those four really benefit your business. They benefit the entity that is your business. Firm resilience. There's a lot of talk about resilience in the world. It's very important. Being resilient is very important, right? We live in VUCA, V-U-C-A, VUCA times, volatile, uncertain, complex, and ambiguous. I don't know what's going to happen this afternoon, right? I don't, well, that's my time, right? It's 9:26 in the Mountain Time Zone. I'm in Boise, Idaho. I don't know what's going to happen next. I have a good idea, but as we know, things kind of get thrown in. Things are volatile, they are uncertain. And for your team to be able, when you step away, to be resilient means that they will fall down. They'll fall down. It won't be catastrophic. It will not be fatal to your business. They will fall down and they will have to get back up. In essence, that's what resilience is. It's falling down and getting back up. And so long as you fall, you get it back up more times than you fall down, you win. You win the game. So firm resilience. We are going to be a better organization or a better team when the leader steps away. When you step away, it's just true, right? We don't think of it that way, but it is true because we'll have to figure things out on our own. So take a moment, really think about this, and identify one tangible return on investment, one benefit your firm or company could realize if you are less in the weeds for 7 days. 2 of those are a weekend. Hopefully you're not working weekends, but if you are, this is part of it. What becomes possible for your firm, for your company, for you, if you were able to be out of the weeds in that strategic space for 7 full days? Write it down. Think about it and write it down. And the reason I say to write it down is because neuroscience tells us when we write things, we are more in touch with them, more aligned with them. They are more real in the world as opposed to just thinking about them. So write it down. Okay, let's wrap that up. Does anybody want to share what they came up with? I'd love to hear it. And I bet the other folks on the call would love to hear it as well if you'd like to share. Anyone at all. You can just come off of mute and start talking. Going once. Going twice. All right. As long as you have it for yourself. That's the most important thing. That's a takeaway for you. Have that for yourself. I know this is being recorded. You can come back and watch it. And if you struggled in this, thinking about ROI, you can come back and watch it. Give yourself some space. If you continue to struggle and you're in Berlin, come talk to me. I will be there. If you're not in Berlin, ping me. My contact info is on the IR Global website. It might be in the last slide that I have for us today. I'm not sure if I put it in there or not, honestly. But if you need some help, you need some support, not need, like, if you'd like some support, I'm here. Okay. Remember, lie number 3
I have a
is,
question, if it's okay.
yeah, please.
Well, I call it not think time, but me time, which is kind of different. For example, last year, not this year, a year ago, I was away with my family for 2 months. No laptop, unfortunately a phone, though, and I did what you said. You can call me in these type of situations. And it helped me a lot because before that I was a team member and team leader for 15 years. Also thinking, I cannot fall dead on the ground now, the whole firm will die, etc., etc. And it learned me a lot that the team was self-supporting and they grew, and it's a lot easier to let go now. However, I think there's a difference between what you're saying in one of your slides, a holiday with your family. Well, in my opinion, it doesn't give you time to think at all. I have small children. Actually, I'm exhausted after a holiday. So are you saying you should have think time outside of the box, somewhere else, not with your family whatsoever?
What do you think?
Thin ice here. No, I think it can be a combination. However, in the holiday, especially in summer holidays, all the people I speak, all the partners, friends as well, they're just going on holiday, they're exhausted and not creative, having new ideas, just reloading the battery or trying to reload it. So the creative process isn't there.
Yeah, it's hard to be creative when you're exhausted. Yeah. And so, number one, look, family time is really, really important. It's very important to me. Family time resulted in the relationship that I have with my daughter today. My daughter's 31, and we have the relationship that we have, which is wonderful. I rode at a cycling studio with her this morning at 5:45 local time. She gets up to do that because she likes to be with me, and I get up to do that because I like to be with her. So family time is very important. And we recognize that family time is not necessarily strategic thinking time, right? We are exhausted when we come back from vacation with family. That is true, right? And so I would say whatever serves you best in creating that space. For example, if your children are young, they are not likely to get up very early in the morning. Or if they're super young, then they get up super early. But if they're in those years where they like to sleep in, you can get up early and have strategic thinking time first thing in the morning while you're on holiday. Combine it with being with your family. You can schedule some different time. Recognize. I think the most important thing is to identify the purpose of the time, of the strategic stepping away. What is the purpose of that for me? How do I best ensure that I achieve that goal or satisfy that purpose for me? Because it's so individual, right? We all have our different ways of doing things. Some of us are, you know, larks, so we get up early in the morning. I'm a lark. Some of you who I don't understand are owls. So you stay up late at night and sleeping in the morning. I don't get that. That's not who I am. It's not my chronotype. But you can leverage those types of things that you know about yourself to be able to achieve the goal that you set for that time away. Does that make sense, Sasha?
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks.
Of course, my pleasure. Anyone else have any questions? Before we get to what are they going to think of me? All right. Haley, I see you laughing. What will they think of me when I step away? She doesn't care. What about me? Where's my support? What am I going to do? They're lazy. All the things. Here are some common fears. Loss of control. If I step away, I don't control anything. And that is frightening for many of us. I laugh because it's frightening for me. I think I'm more afraid of losing control than I am of spiders or public speaking or snakes, for that matter. And to give you some idea, people on the fear scale, people are more afraid of public speaking than they are of snakes. I am more afraid of loss of control than I am of public speaking. So we think that when we step away, we're going to lose control. That's a fear that we have. We're going to feel guilty. My team is working, unless it's a holiday, like my business shuts down between Christmas and New Year's, so none of my team works. When I was in Portugal last month, actually it's July now. I can't believe August. I don't know what happened to August, but anyway, when I was in Portugal, my team worked and I wasn't working in the day to day. I was working in the strategic space. I didn't feel guilty, right? Because I was working. The thing that we need to identify or recognize is oftentimes for us, strategic work doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like I'm working. And yet it is the type of work that is essential for you to do. So we feel guilty because the team's working and we are away. Maybe. People are going to think I don't care. What do you mean I can't get a hold of you if there's a problem? The problem that I have is not on the list. What do you mean? And by the way, you should have one gatekeeper when you step away. There should be a gatekeeper who calls you, right? For me, it's my executive assistant. If anybody on the team has an issue, they go to Victoria. And then Victoria will decide this is when I'm going to bother John. This is when I'm not going to bother John. If you leave it to the team, they'll think it's more important than it may actually be. So there's a perception of disengagement. Oh, they don't care. They're disengaged. They're not working. How hard is the Monday after a holiday? After stepping away, after a vacation, painful reentry is a thing. So I've got 7,000 emails or some unreasonable number of emails. I've got all of these conversations that I have to have. I've got to recheck in with the team. Our weekly stand up is going to be longer because I've been out. I'm jet lagged. I flew in on a Sunday night and knew that I had a meeting on Monday morning. All of those things. Re-entry can be painful. It's a common fear. Painful re-entry is not a lie, though. It's oftentimes the reality, right? Oh, I have all this stuff now. We can take care of that on the front end, of course. We cannot fly in on a Sunday night. We can fly in on a Saturday and give ourselves a day to decompress. If you're dealing with time zones, then you can deal with the time zone change, the lag, all those things. You can get yourself ready for the following workday, right? You can have somebody screen your emails and tag the ones that are most important in order of priority. Oh, these are the ones that I need to tackle first. My executive assistant does that for me when I'm away. She does it every day, quite honestly. So painful reentry, right? So let's kind of take a look at these. Loss of control. We talked about in the ROI space, resilience and growth for your team. Those are important. They are actually more important than your sense of control because in many instances, you've hired the people who you fear losing control to. When we think about that logically, it's illogical. It doesn't make sense. That loss of control is a story that only I can do it. I must be present to make sure that the trains run on time. when in fact you're the person oftentimes who hired the people that you're assigning to do the work. And so it doesn't really make a whole lot of logical sense. It's an emotional response, 100%, as is the guilt, right? You will be better when you come back. You will be a better leader. You will be a better communicator. You will be a better operator. You will be better when you can step away. The perception of disengagement, just you have to communicate through that, right? That's a leadership opportunity for you. You don't have to, you get to. You get to communicate through that. I am not disengaged. I am thinking. And perhaps when you come back from a holiday or from a strategic time away, be it an afternoon or a few days, you have a team meeting and say, okay, well, here's the work that I did while I was gone. That's a way to combat the perception of disengagement. And we've talked about painful reentry, right? Set yourself up for success ahead of time. If you've got a heavy Monday after a break, after time away, it doesn't really make sense to land at 11 p.m. at 2,300 hours. It doesn't make sense, right? You're not going to be at your best. So set yourself up so that the reentry isn't as painful. And once you keep on doing that, you will get better at it. Your team will understand it better. The people who handle your travel, if it's someone else who handles your travel, will understand it. And you get into that space. That is the thing that you have quite a bit more control over than you may be exercising. Quite a bit more autonomy is the reentry part. What is one sentence? Here's a little bit of work for you. What is one sentence you can use to gain buy-in for stepping away? And the buy-in, if you're the boss, the buy-in is your own. This is not a wasted exercise if you are the boss. I use this, right? I use my sentence. I've got it written down, right? To convince myself, because we can always kind of poo-poo it or minimize it. Well, I don't have to take that time away there, or it's so busy that I should stay. I should cancel my plans. We often do that. I have clients who have that type of mindset quite often. And when we have that one sentence written down, it's for us too, right? It's like, no, this is why this thing is important. This is why me stepping away is important. So it's your buy-in. It could be your spouse or your partner's, your life partner's buy-in. I'll give you a little peek behind the curtain. And I urge you to adopt something similar to this. In November of every year, yours doesn't have to be in November, but it's towards the end of every year, I leave town and I go and I get a hotel room up in the mountains of Idaho. It's beautiful. It's a town called Ketchum. It's by Sun Valley, Idaho, if you've ever heard of that. It's in the mountains. It's lovely. It's shoulder season, so it's not crazy expensive. But I leave because I want to review the year that was, and I want to preview the year to come. I do strategic thinking. I leave for a weekend. And so I talked to Michelle, my wife, who, if you're in Berlin, you will meet her. She's a fantastic woman. But I used the sentence with her because she's got stuff going on. She's got life. There's responsibilities at home, all those things. I use my sentence with her as well. She gets it. After all these years, she gets it. I don't have to use it anymore. It's like, okay, I understand. Go. I'll see you on the other side. And so if you have a life partner or a spouse, you can use it there. You can use it with your boss. If you are the leader of a team, this applies to you. Strategic time away applies to you because your team is just part of the organization and it has to run at peak efficiency for the organization to run at peak efficiency. We know this. So think about it. What is one sentence that you could use to gain buy-in for stepping away? And it could be what you've learned here today. Look, when I step away, Bill Gates think time, think weeks, right? And he came up with these things. I know that we are not optimized. When I step away, I'm going to be thinking about how to optimize this specific part of our system, this specific part of our business. That's what I'm going to dive into. What do you think? When I come back, I'll do a presentation for the leadership. I can do a presentation for the firm, right? Create buy-in because buy-in is necessary. And you're the salesperson, you're the communicator. So create buy-in, so important. So let's recap the power of stepping away. Time away is an investment, period. It is an investment. You will get an ROI from it. ROI is unlocked by your absence, whether it's for yourself and being in that different space, up on that balcony, up where you can see the entire pitch, you can see all the pieces moving around and think ahead. Oh, they're going to go over there, and here's why they're going to go over there. You can be in that space. So that is the benefit for you, for your and delegation. For your team, it's resilience and communication amongst themselves and confidence that they can do the things that you have them do, right? ROI is unlocked by your absence. By stepping away, you give yourself permission to lead differently. I have a client, world-class attorney. Started as a true solo. Now has a team of 17 lawyers and a total headcount of 40 in her law firm. And she still struggles. They expect me to be at the office, John. And actually, they just moved. They just changed offices. And my question to her was, why do you have an office there? And she told me, if she were to do it again, she would probably not have an office because it just creates this thing for her to have to be there. She doesn't have to be, to be clear. It's not necessary for her to be physically present. But she still worries about what they're going to think, right? That guilt. What will they think? I'm disengaged. None of that is true. By stepping away, you give yourself permission to lead differently, whether it's just kind of how you lead or how you communicate or how you're thinking ahead so that reentry isn't so difficult. And let's not forget kind of the most one of, I was going to say the most important thing. It may be the most important thing. You understand the value of your team stepping away to recharge. I think everyone on this call understands that. Well, your team are like children in this way. They will hear what you say and they will watch what you do. And if you are not setting the example of stepping away to be strategic, to do thinking time, when you tell them to do that, they're not going to do it. Even though you understand the inherent value, they may understand the inherent value, but they're not going to do it because they're watching what you say and they're watching what you do and they're going to follow what you do. All right, I'm going to stop sharing. Let's talk. Come on off of mute. I am very, very curious. I'm going to ask a question. As I said, I am US based. I am a US citizen. I've been here my whole life. Is this a thing? Is this a challenge in different parts of the world? Teresa, you're in Gibraltar. Is stepping away a challenge?
I'm not very good at stepping away. I went to Bali last summer for 3 weeks and I still managed to find time to read my emails because I wanted to stay tuned in. So I'm probably not the best person to talk to about this.
But is it a culture? Does the culture support it? I guess is my question.
I think it's more of a mindset. then opposed to the culture. It's a mindset that you take into any work, isn't it? And if you allow yourself to you gift yourself the time to step away. Culturally, everyone's busy. Everyone's, moving towards their deadlines. But I think it's more like a personal sort of gift that you have to give yourself and allow yourself to step away. But other people in different jurisdictions might have other opinions, so maybe we can
Thank you
ask
for
that.
thank you for sharing. I didn't mean to call you out. You just happened to
Thank
be
you. I was
in
unexpected.
the upper left of my screen. It wasn't anything personal. You were just there. And thank you for being honest. Right? Look, it's me. I'm the thing. Right? I get that. I totally get it. Anyone else have any feedback on culture, whether culture supports this concept of strategic time away, maybe over and above your summer holiday or anything like that? No one?
Oh,
Right. Go ahead, Ian. I was going to say I was
Yeah.
going to start picking on people, so go ahead.
I think it is very much a culture, because if you look at people like Google and what have you, even at lower levels of employee, they are given time to go away and think or do things, whereas and they are seen as innovative companies, if you like, whereas more traditional companies just say you've got to be at your desk 40 hours a week or what have you and get on with the work. So I think it is a cultural thing with businesses.
Okay. And I just looked really quick, Ian. Thank you so much. I just looked. Google Alphabet has a market cap of 2.578 trillion US dollars. Do you think that a company like that would tell people to go away and think if it didn't work? Right? Of course not. There was a gift in the pandemic. It was a horrible thing, but there was a gift in it. And that was being able to be different in the workspace, right? Being able to think about being different in the workspace. I think we've ignored the gift. I think if we ever unwrapped it, we've wrapped it back up and we put it in the closet and we've kind of forgotten about it. So I think there's that. Anyone else? But what about you? You're on mute. I know you're on your phone. You're out for a walk. Can you come off of mute and share?
Yeah, I can. It's I think it's not as much a cultural gift or a cultural thing as that it matters where you're from, but I think overall in the service providing business, where we think that our clients expect us to be available to them basically 24/7, and where we get paid by billable hours. And I know that I always tell the people who work for me, well, if you need time off, take it. And if you need time off to think about, or if you need time to think about how we can do things more efficiently or better, take it as well. But I also really recognize the thing you said about they don't hear what you say, but they see what you do, because I don't do that. I don't think last time I went on holiday was June 2 years ago, I think. So that's. But I'm trying to change my life going away in November. Because I have learned that when I am away, things don't break apart. And when I get back, everything still works. So that's good.
Yeah, everything still works. It's not going to burn down, right? It's just that is not going to be a thing. You've built something that is robust, that is resilient. It can survive your absence, and I would say it would even thrive in your absence, right? Because it does. It gives the people the opportunity to shine, gives them the opportunity to step up. Anyone else
Yeah, and
have any? Go ahead,
actually, can I say one more little thing?
please.
Because I think that last part is true. Because I don't think I would have learned half as much if I didn't have the freedom I got from the people above me to do things in my way when they weren't around.
Yeah. Yeah. That's exactly right. And so if you've had good role models in this space, it has benefited you. If you've had bad role models, look, I was a lawyer. Talk about bad role models, right? You are at your desk, you are working, right? This is the thing. And it's through just reading on my spare time and research and thinking that I came to realize, well, that's not always what's best. I would challenge each one of you a couple of ways. Number one, our words matter. So if we're talking to our team, and Hub, you mentioned this, and I'm not sure it was on purpose, but when we're talking to our team and we say, if you need time away to think about this, just let me know. That puts a lot of pressure on them. You can put it differently. I'm going to give you time. This is the project that I want you to work on. This is the thing I want you to think about. Go away. Take the afternoon off, or take the afternoon, not off. Take the afternoon, go to a coffee shop, go to a park, go to a museum, go somewhere that's not here, and just think about this thing at a really high level. You can have notes, you can have your phone, kind of the flow of whatever it is that you're thinking about, but think about it at a really high level, right? The second thing, as we begin to come in for our landing today, is for each and every person on this call this week to pull out your calendar and block at least 60 minutes in the next 90 days for strategic thinking time. You don't have to make a trip for a weekend. You can, not telling you don't. You don't have to do that. You can just, okay, this hour on 2 November is going to be time where I step away and I do some strategic thinking. Just do that. Start that process. Because when you come back from that space, it's going to have been productive and you're going to want more of it. So do that.
John, just
Anyone
on
else
that
have? Yeah.
note, sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. We will actually have a wellness room at our Berlin conference for people to have the time to step away. I enjoyed that, Hallie. Thank you. Yay. So, those 60 minutes that John's mentioning, for those of you who are coming to Berlin, it would be amazing if you used that space to be able to do so.
Yeah, please do. The IR Global set that room aside with intentionality. There's a reason that they do that, and it's for you all. Right? There's a reason they do it. Please take advantage of it. Anyone have any last questions before I release you to the rest of your day?
I have one question to you. You
Yeah.
say it so easily that I say, okay, I go every November for a day off to reflect about the business. But is it so easy that I can say, okay, tomorrow I reflect about my business? Is it this easy? Or is it, let's say, a development that I say, okay, I go when I think it's the best time for the business and for the, because that's our problem. Okay, like Hoop said, I had the same issue with the holidays, but I have a good team. So 25 years, I have a wonderful team, and they push me out, and I know I can trust them. But to reflect about a business, you cannot do just turn off and turn on. I think that's not easy. And the same not if you go to Berlin, you have got a lot of new impressions, and then you say, okay, now I have 60 minutes. Now I can reflect about my business. So that's not so easy. That's a process.
It sounds very simple, doesn't it? But it's not easy. You're right, because it's a different way of thinking. When I talked about, you can be in the doing and you can't think strategically. That is true. It's because it's a different way of thinking. And so email me. My email's in the chat and I'm on the IR Global website. Email me. I will send you the prompts Anybody can have this. I will send you the prompts that I use for that strategic thinking day or weekend to help me get into the space that I want to be in, to help that strategic thinking. Because your brain is still connected to the work, right? We need to
Correct.
kind of break that connection and step out. I'm happy to have that conversation. I'm happy to send you the resource. Anybody here, or if you're watching the recording, ping me. I will send you the resource.
Okay. Thank you
Okay?
and see you in
Of
Berlin.
course.